my fellow comic book collectors. It's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and this is part 7 of this historic unboxing. And this part's going to be kind of extra interesting, actually. Maybe even better than the finale, depending on what you're interested in. But this is pre-code horror. Pretty much exclusively pre-code horror comics. It's like a big stack of slabs of pre-code horror. So it's going to be a very pre-code horror theme. If you like horror, if you like Good Girl, you'll probably like this video. And let's get into it. I'm not sure if all of them are pre-code horror, but I think most of them are. So we're going to get into it. First is this one that I should have unwrapped first because it is like really covered in plastic. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize how wrapped up it was. But wow, see that was, it's like a, multiple layers. Let's see if I can get it out. All this build up. See, I try to build things up. I try to make it interesting for you guys. You gotta watch me like struggling through the wrap and stuff. Okay, so we got, wow, okay. And we get a very major, at the end of all that, get a major pre-code horror cover. And this is Horrific number 4. It's just a classic Don Heck cover. It's a decapitation, shrunken head cover. His head's on a post. It's just a crazy classic cover. This is shrunken head cover, bullet in the head panels. Wow, just a great pre-code horror cover. I always liked this one. I always thought it was just a crazy little cover. And it's Horrific number 4. What does it say? Nothing else other than that. 1953. So, decapitation, kind of fun. Okay. Okay, what was the other one? There was 2 books in here, so that's one of them. And let's see if I can get the other one. Oof. This one's a little harder to get out. A little bit connected. Oh. Wow. Alright, got it though. Wow. That was crazy packaging. I think they really wanted to protect them. Oh, and this is another beautiful, beautiful cover. This is Shock Illustrated. The actual title is even crazier than that. It's really long. It's Shock Illustrated number 2, but it's Shock Adult Crime Stories Illustrated. And this was actually not a pre-code horror cover or comic. This actually was post-code. And what happened was EC really wanted to continue making horror comics. And what they did was they went into a magazine format. And this is, you can see, it's a much larger case. And they went into this magazine format and basically, tried to continue on, but it just didn't work. They just weren't successful at maintaining their audience, and they ended up having to cancel after only a few issues of, they did a bunch of different titles. It just didn't work. One of the things that you could do to get around the code at the time was to publish it in a magazine format, because then it was intended for adults. And really, their audience was kids. So it was kids that were buying all the comics. There was a small audience for these adult versions, but just not the volume that they had with when they were selling it to kids. So kind of sad that they weren't able to keep it going, but this is one of their attempts at getting around the code. So this is Shock Illustrated number 2 from 1956. It's a Rudy Nappy cover. So yeah, just a really great one. And the artists that they had, the people that were working on these books is actually kind of phenomenal. They had Al Felstein, Jack Olek, and Reed Crandall,
Al Williamson and Graham Engels as well. So just so many big artists and writers involved, and yet just couldn't keep it going. So that's a really great cover though too. I really like that one. Okay, that's next one is a collection that I'm working on. I've been mentioning this several times. That is another Pre-Code, very classic series called Mr. Mystery. And this is just another one in the titles that I needed. It's taped pretty seriously, and it's this one. Now this one is Mr. Mystery number 8. It is from 1952, and it is Frank Evola art. I can't really read what it says on the label, but it's just, this one always reminds me of Homer Simpson. So there's an episode of The Simpsons where for some reason Homer just starts screaming. It's like the whole episode he's like screaming for no reason. They're trying to figure out, why is Homer Simpson screaming all the time? And it turns out that he found a dead body in a pipe. And that's what this reminds me of. So this is Mr. Mystery number 8. And I just think it's a really cool cover where I think she's in a ship, and through the portal it comes this dead body. So just a really cool one. Again, girl in the red dress. A little bit purplish this time, but yeah, girl in the red dress. And it's just a great cover. So yeah, really like this one. So Mystery number 8. And actually it presents really, really well. The reason it got a 2.5 is it's a detached cover. So that's one of the great things. You know, you can get really nice presenting books where it's a lower grade, but it's just a detached cover. And you can't tell that it's a detached cover in the slab. So kind of nice. Okay, so I like that kind of low grade, but presents really well. So yeah, I'm so looking forward to getting that series completed. Okay, so another series that I'm semi-working on, not really, because it's just too expensive, but I'm getting a few issues from it, is another classic Pre-Code horror series. Well, actually, is it really Pre-Code horror? Kind of, semi. Okay, this is Suspense Comics number 3, and you got this really great L.B. Cole cover, and you got this kind of puppeteer, the ballerina, and the skeleton man, and I don't know what he is, but he's got a dagger. I don't know what he's doing. So just a really cool L.B. Cole cover from Suspense Comics number 7. And it has lingerie panels inside. This one is restored, so that, and it is low grade. Generally, when it's low grade, the restoration really doesn't impact the value, strangely. But the restoration includes a small amount of color touch on cover, spine, and cover completely split, cover detached. So that's that one. So just a really great book. I'd love to have the complete series of Suspense Comics. There's some really major books in the collection that go for big money. But I'm happy just to have a few of them that are more affordable. So yeah, there's that one. Okay, this next one's a really interesting one. There was a series of banned books in the US, banned because of the content, and this one is a Canadian book. It is Strange Mysteries number 1, so first issue, and this is the Corpse Orgy is the reason, actually, because it's basically this weird kind of corpse orgy. I don't know how to describe it. You got this girl in the red dress. You got all these weird corpse guys. It's just a kind of a weird book. So this is Weird Mysteries, Strange Mysteries #1 from Superior, which is a Canadian company, from 1951. Just a really great comic, and really rare because it is one that was banned. Banned by the Senate. So they banned it much later. So, you know, but I think they banned it in like 1955, 56 era, somewhere around there. Okay, so this next one, actually I don't think I have to take it out of the plastic. Another low grade restored book is A Vault of Horror #27, or is it 37? 37, sorry, 37. This one is like a classic hanging cover. So you got this guy kind of hanging. Just a very famous cover by Jack Davis, I believe. Or no, Johnny Craig. Johnny Craig, sorry. Almost messed up the name. So yeah, Johnny Craig. Just a classic horror cover. So this one is also the first appearance of Drizella, I believe it's pronounced. Yeah, Drizella. And it's just a cool book. This one is Slight Restoration B1. So if you ever wonder what's B1, C1, A1, and all that kind of stuff, the lower the number, means less restoration has been done to the book. The letter is A, B, or C. A is professional restoration, B is semi-professional restoration, and C is amateur restoration. So this is sort of semi-professional restoration. And the restoration includes small amount of color touch on the cover, spine of cover completely split and reattached with tape. That's the restoration. So, but just really, you know, really cool presenting comic. Probably this is one where, again, if you remove the restoration, or, you know, restoration really doesn't impact too much the value of the book. Maybe it'd be like 90% of the value. So yeah, just a really cool one. I like getting a few EC comics in my collection. Okay, next one. Another one where the price tag is different than what I paid. So this is Weird Mysteries #9. And you got this weird Cyclops guy on the cover. And I don't know. You got this weird zombie-like guy here as well. And it's just a really cool pre-code horror comic from 1954. It's a Bernard Bailey cover. So Bernard Bailey is kind of known for his work on Spectre, but he's also known for doing some really amazing pre-code horror covers. And I just thought this one was interesting because you got this kind of creepy guy and the scientist woman kind of looking through the microscope, and she's doesn't notice him. I don't know what's going on with her, but yeah, this is just a interesting cover. And this is Weird Mysteries #9. Another series that I'm picking up a few issues from it. I haven't really collected them all yet, but definitely one I'd like to get more of because there's some pretty cool covers in it. Okay. And I think this might be another Weird Mysteries, actually, strangely. Yeah, another Weird Mysteries. So I speak about having some interest in getting a Weird Mysteries collection, and then I show two from the Weird Mysteries collection. This is Weird Mysteries, another, this I believe this is another Bernard Bailey. Yeah, another Bernard Bailey cover. This one's a kind of a classic cover because you got this guy and it looks like he's about to eat the, the young couple there. So yeah, this is Weird Mysteries #10. This one has, again, restoration because all the edges are trimmed. You can see like actually how straight they are, like incredibly straight. Looks like somebody used like a paper cutter to cut them really, really straight. It makes the book look, present better, but it means that the restoration cannot be removed. So this kind of restoration is basically the worst type of restoration. There's no reversing it. But it does make the book look nice, and it's, kind of a great cover. So, and it allowed me to get this book a lot cheaper, about half the price or a third of the price. So this is Weird Mysteries number 10, Bernard Bailey cover, just a classic crazy mouth cover. Okay, one more book, and this one is not pre-code horror, and it's not a major book. It's actually just a fun one though. I don't know why it got mixed in. It was actually meant to be in the other pile, but oh well. It is with my pre-code horror, and it's just a cool cover. Okay, let me get into it. And this is Action Comics 1050. I just like this one. Something about it just sort of makes me think of that typical scene where you got Lois Lane and Superman. Superman's running off to solve the next or fight the next criminal or whatever, and you got Lois Lane ready to go into action as well, and she's going to go off and take pictures or report the crime. And this one is a really well done signature. You got the signature right there. Really great placement for the signature. This is a Nathan Zerdy. Zerdy cover, and it's just a really great one. I like this cover. Actually, when this book came out, I was trying to get it, and I was trying to ask my LCS to hold it for me, and they couldn't find it, and so I never got it. But then I found it on eBay, and they had a really great price for it, even though it was a signature series. I think it was an auction, and I just won it for almost basically the cost of the slab, actually maybe even cheaper than the cost of the slab. So I just was super excited to win it. And yeah, I just think it's a great one. It's 9/8 white pages. Okay, so that's it. Mostly pre-code horror, but one, not such a major book, but just I think it's a great cover. So that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed this part. Stay tuned. There's some really big books in the parts coming up. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, like it. Which of the pre-code horror covers did you like the best? Tell me in the comments below, and bye for now.